welcome to Grannies on the Road, and today we are at Red Brook with Linda Burke, who's the marketing director for AD Makepeace, and we have a little bit of an event today with bus tours going out to the bogs. Is that right?
We have wagon rides going out to the bogs today. This is the kickoff of our cranberry harvest season, and we have, I think this is our third year of doing a little festival at Red Brook, which is our village in South Plymouth that we have under development. It's a mixed-use village that has about 100 homes now, but will eventually contain more. We've got a full-service YMCA. We've got the Farmer's Table restaurant. And we started this idea thinking that we wanted to make sure that the residents of this community and the surrounding area understood the cranberry industry and could take advantage of the beautiful scene that we'll see in a little bit. The harvest is just, the wet harvest is a wonderful thing to watch. And
yes, I love it.
yeah, so we'll start our cranberry harvest this weekend and continue until probably the second week of November is typically what we do.
Oh, that's a long time. That's great.
Yes, the smaller growers, if it's a family farm or something like that, will typically just harvest over the course of one weekend. They'll bring in their whole extended family and everybody will help. But we harvest about 2,000 acres of cranberry bogs.
Oh.
So we stretch it out over a period of time.
So is AD Makepeace the largest cranberry grower in the state?
We are actually the largest cranberry grower in the world.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we have cranberry bogs here in Plymouth and in Wareham, Rochester, and Carver.
Okay, but I understand that Massachusetts isn't the largest grower of cranberries in the states anymore, isn't it? Wisconsin?
I think it is Wisconsin, and our harvest comprises about 25% of the total harvest in the United States at this point.
That's a large amount.
There's a lot of cranberry growing going on now in Canada, and they also grow cranberries in Chile.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So there has to be the right conditions to grow cranberries. I understand very sandy soil.
Yes.
What else? Sandy
soil. The cranberries start reddening at this time of year if we have cool nights, as we have had for the past couple of weeks. That causes the cranberries to turn a little bit redder. But we need temperate, warm days at this time of year for them to grow bigger. So there's only certain parts of the country that have those conditions with the sandy soils and the temperate winters, the temperate fall periods. New Jersey was traditionally a large cranberry growing state.
Okay.
And that northern tier as well.
Oh, okay. I always thought it was mostly Massachusetts.
Well, we like to believe that too.
Yeah.
It all started here 200 years ago. On the Cape, and it was a gentleman who developed, he saw that there were wild cranberries growing. It's one of the few fruits that are native to North America, and he thought that there ought to be a way to cultivate them and sell them commercially, and that's where it all started, on the Cape.
That's a great tradition.
Yeah.
So where do most of the cranberries from the Makepeace bogs go? Do they sell to one company or many?
We're an Ocean Spray grower, so we're under contract with Ocean Spray to sell them all the berries that we harvest.
Okay. That's excellent, and they make all kinds of good juices and...
Yeah, and when you come to the Cranberry Harvest celebration that we have in Wareham on October 7th and 8th, Columbus Day weekend, they will be testing some and sampling some of their new products that they have available.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
We can't miss that.
No, you can't.
So this development here, the Red Brook, it's absolutely gorgeous. Did this used to be cranberry bogs?
We still have cranberry bogs operating here.
Okay.
And that's some of what you'll see later on today, is the bogs that are part of the Red Brook community.
Yeah.
We have done developments in Wareham as well and in Carver, and we always believe that we want the cranberry bogs to be part of the amenities that are associated with the development. So we have we continue to operate the bogs here. In Wareham, we've got a commercial development. It's primarily commercial. There'll be apartments introduced there later on. but there's a thriving cranberry bog there right in front of an assisted living facility and a medical office building. And it's all, we see it all as one little cohesive unit.
Yeah, I've always thought I would love to live on a cranberry bog, but I like the lake myself.
Yes.
Even better, but cranberry bog, that would be fun to live on.
Well, it's a beautiful vista, and as long as you realize that it is a working farm.
Yeah.
And there are times of the year that you have to be careful around the equipment that's out there.
Oh,
it
for
really
sure.
It's a nice amenity.
Now, I understand that there are some medicinal properties to cranberries. They're really good for you.
Yes, they. And what's interesting is that if you read the literature, some of it is not conclusive yet, but we know that there are more health benefits than have been discussed. The primary one is the prevention of urinary tract infections, and there's some research going on about prevention of cancers and gum disease and all kinds of other afflictions of modern life.
Mm-hmm. You have to love cranberries. This is one of my favorite fruits.
Well, we have a cranberry cooking contest every November, and we invite professional chefs and home cooks and young people to participate in our cranberry cooking contest. All the recipes that are included in the contest are put into a book that we publish every year.
I might just have to enter my cranberry frosting.
So I've heard.
Thank you very much for talking to us today about how cranberries are grown, and it's a vital part of our community on the South Shore, and we appreciate that AD Makepeace is here doing a great business.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you, and we're going to go and film on the bogs and see how they actually pick the cranberries and what else is going on here at Red Brook for the festival this weekend.
Great, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Only way I've ever
Let's see what
known.
you got.
My family came here in the mid-1600s and we're
Nice.
still doing the same thing that we were doing in the 1600s.
Look at that machine.
Cooking problem? Because when I'm sitting across the table from you and we're snapping beans, they can carry it into the...
You guys want to try picking a couple?
It's fun. It's not. But I can remember my mom telling me, get out in that garden.
That was a more moderate. That's a lot more efficient. A lot more, a lot quicker. 98% of the fruit picked here at Makepeace and in the industry.
So I have to use my hand though, right? That's
Yep, this is the snap scoop, so this is circa 1880s is when these came into use. And before then, all the cranberries were gathered by hand. Some of the townships actually had public cranberry bogs, like down in Harwich. And what you do is when you find your cranberries in here, you pick them and you snap it shut in here to keep them secure, and empty them into your cranberry box or your cranberry bag, or however you're going to pull them off the cranberry bog. And this cranberry scoop evolved into that larger one at the foot of these gentlemen over here. And they were continuing to harvest them by hand up until the 40s, I'd say. Walk around, these mechanized ways of pulling them off.
yeah, these machines are going to do a whole bunch at once. It's even better.
Oh yeah, yep. And it's all belt driven and self-propelled, so you're not pushing it through all the vines. It's pulling you through most of the time. So this cranberry bog from here probably looks like a big mess of creeping, brambling vines, but it's actually been groomed to grow in a particular direction on how we harvest it. So the vines are actually laying towards the right. Try to kick them counterclockwise in concentric circles. So starting around the edge of the bog, we do a big circle until we get to this flagged out center ditch here, which is like the center seam of the cranberry bog. It's like the hairline of the bog, if you think of it in that way. And that's true for the water harvested bogs as well. So if we pick them against the grain of the cranberry vine, risk ripping them out. They are a perennial plant, so they'll continue to produce for us indefinitely if well cared for. We have some bogs that are in the 100, 120 year age range and still producing. And that's not uncommon around here, but it's becoming less of the case.
When you plant new plants, how long does it take before they start to fruit?
Looks like with berries on it.
Well, as a general rule, we try to grow the vine for 3 years before we subject it to the violence of harvest.
Okay.
Now, and cranberries, even what we call our heirloom ones, are a cultivated variety. So if you were to try to grow cranberry vines from seed, probably take anywhere from 8 to 10 years or so to push healthy enough vine to be able to harvest. So whenever we make a new cranberry bog, we plant with clippings from an existing cranberry bog, and we plant them directly into the sand, and then we water them to death for most of a calendar year, and then we just focus on growing that vine rather than fruiting them for the next 2 years.
Great.
Now, see how the vine is leaning. Okay, so what you want to try to do is just go up underneath the fruit. Don't go too far down into the vine. There you go.
Oh. Good job.
All right, now the trick is to get them out of that and into a bag. There you go. Now, there you go. Now, that snap scoop is late 1800s.
Wow.
So this would have been used for real by somebody in the late 1800s. You're probably the first person to pick cranberries off of this in, maybe the last 20 years.
Wow.
Awesome.
Of tines, where the snaps are basically for short vine that you can go right underneath that fruit and then take it out. So every type of scoop has a different type of purpose that it's used for.
I can't imagine how long it would take to harvest this bog with those little things.
Well, when you have 100 people and each one of them has a string line 14 inches wide, they could probably take a bog off like this in a half a day. But it would take 100
people.
laborers.
Wow.
Okay, nowadays you could drive a machine out here in 15 minutes, have it picked off, have the other truck show up not long behind it. Takes about a half an hour to put the berries in the rack and about a half an hour for the truck to take it away. You're talking 10 people could harvest this bog in maybe 4 hours.
Oh my goodness.
So quite a difference. But back in the day, some of the old photographs, if you get to them, you'll see these bogs strung out. And just to put the strings out alone was a nightmare's worth of work. But
Yeah.
you know, people didn't want you like going down and all of a sudden you do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So they kept you very straight so that there'd be no gaps in between.
Yeah.
And what had happened is somebody'd be going and the berries thin out a little bit. And boy, right over here, they're still pretty good. So let me get no, they wanted you to go all the way end to end. So
Yeah.
to see a bog strung out in those old photographs is quite a picture to see.
Neat.
Yeah, it's quite a change in history. How the techniques are the same, but they've gotten bigger in scale and take less people to do it. But
Yeah.
they haven't changed a lot. I mean, this water harvest didn't even start until the mid-60s.
Oh.
That wasn't even a process years ago. Everything was dry harvested years ago. And then somewhere in the early 60s, they started to make these ride-on type machines that could, the first ones were actually walk-behinds, and then they started to get to ride-ons, articulating, all kinds of different things happened, and within 10 years, the industry was born for water harvesting, and now that's the main way that cranberries are harvested. Dry harvest nowadays is probably, if I had to guess, maybe under 5%, 3% of the fruit harvested is dry harvested.
Wow.
So most of it is now done that way with a whole lot less people and resources.
Yeah.
So it changed the industry.
Yeah, I bet. Why are they moving these lines here? What are they doing?
The booms, it's called a boom, the black thing.
A boom,
Yeah,
okay.
a boom. The purpose of moving the boom in and out, it makes it easier for the guys that are loading the pan. It's like a big funnel, those big red legs over there.
Okay.
So as they go out, it's less physical labor on the guys. We let the boom do all the work.
Because it pulls them in?
Yeah, it brings them in. It
Okay.
draws them in tighter instead of all day trying to shovel it in.
Oh, okay. So he's walking right out in the middle. That one looks like it's not attached to anything.
No, because it's the same leg he's pulling.
Okay.
So he'll go out, scoop a little bit, bring it in. Same thing like they do like the fishing when you go fishing. You throw out the net, you bring
Talking
it in.
to a non-fisher.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or woman. Okay, so then there's a funnel or something in there? That's
Yeah, what the red
actually-
legs are, there's like a big giant funnel.
Okay.
And what it does is like a big vacuum cleaner. It sucks it in. There's a big hose inside the water. And it
Okay.
brings it up there to that hopper up there. It's called a bathtub.
Okay.
And what it does, it washes the berries. And it takes all the trash in the green truck. You see the trash coming out.
Oh, yeah.
And then it throws the berries inside the clean truck. If the cleaner it goes in, the more money we make out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it filters out all the water.
Yes. That's it.
It really can separate all the leaves from the berries, huh?
Yeah. Does a good job.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And it's fast.
Yes.
Then the water goes back into the bog.
Back into the water. Yeah.
And these cranberries they use mostly for juice and things like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Yeah. Excellent.
Each of these little stems, you get 4 to 5 berries on it.
Oh.
And they have like a little stem coming off it, and the berry hangs out like this. So when you fill it up, the berry picks up a little bit, like a big giant balloon.
Yeah.
And then the machine comes along and just beats it off it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or we have to put a tractor out there, they'll pump it for the next one if we have it. We try to use as much water here. He has no problem with water. The reservoir, he just pulled it out. It's probably full rolling downstream as it is.
For the roofs.
Yeah.
So we modified them for cranberries.
Okay.
So what you do is you take one, there you can have that one.
Okay.
Okay. And you find some cranberries, like these ones here. And what you want to do is we'll float out. Get the ones that are in the water. Let's see, there's some down here if you want to. Yeah, there you go. Right here. You got to dig down deep, like that, make it like a wave.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. Perfect. You want to try it? There's another one there. There you go. Help yourself. I need all the help I can get. There you go. That's perfect.
Okay.
And then when you push that out, that boom comes around it with some guys. And they corral them inside.
Okay.
And then they bring them in over to there so they can pump the trim. Yeah, we don't worry about the ones on the shore. There you go. There you go. Look at it go.
It said make a wave, so they all flow
Make an ocean spray wave. Yeah.
There you go, that was a wave.
There you go, there you go. And just give it a little wave there, and then they go out, and the corral comes in behind it. Yeah, they're kind of heavy for you, huh?
How much am I getting paid for this?
I don't know. A lollipop, there's lollipops over there. And,
I'll take a pound of cranberries.
the brown seed means that it's ripe, so the berry's already ripe. Even if they're white on the outside, that means they're deeper in the vines, but they're still ripe as long as the seeds are brown.
Oh.
But see the chambers, and that's why it's hollow. It floats to the top as soon as you knock it off the vine.
happening here is the berries are being pumped off the bog through an 8-inch hose into a tank. The berries float up, and just by gravity, water gravity, fall over, and the set of bars spaced about 3/8 of an inch apart. And spaced about 3/8 of an inch apart. The vine and the chaff, we call it chaff, leaves, is forced through the vines, and the clean berries come up into the truck. And over on the left there is the waste. The water is screened, and then the waste is composted.
Okay, great. Well, that's awesome.
That's great.
And do they separate out the green berries from the red ones?
No, Ocean Spray, they're through their blending formulas, they can blend, add more red concentrate to this. This is a little lighter to get the right color.
Okay.
That's one of the nice things about water harvesters. It all goes together. You don't have to separate the varieties out.
Right. Oh, wow.
So, we came in truck and talk.
You ready? I know it's going to be bitter. I love cranberries.
You just have to be ready for it, that's all.
Where's the other one? Okay, here it is. I'm ready. Oh, it's not very deep. That's good. Oh, that's a good one. Wait a minute. I'm getting hurt. Okay, take it. Ready? Take a photo. Take one photo. I don't care. Wait, don't. That was fun.
That looks delicious.
Those are my drunken cranberry buttercream frosting, and it's on a orange chiffon cupcake, but that doesn't even matter because that's not the recipe we're entering.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. Oh, and candied cranberries. That's just so we already put them over here?
Put them over here with the other ones that we've received here.
Okay. So tell us a little bit more about how the contest works.
This is our 9th year of doing the Make It Better with Cranberries contest, and it's co-sponsored by True Cheese Markets, the Cape Cod Cranberry Growers Association, and Edible South Shore / South Coast Magazine. And we provide prizes to the winners, and they're also included in the cookbook. This is last year's cookbook, and here at McPeaks Farms they offer all of the cookbooks, I think, from all the years. were compiled with the recipes from the previous years.
Wonderful, and anybody can enter, just
Yes.
about, right?
Yep. We have different categories. There's youth categories, professional categories, and home cooks. And we provide first, second, and third place winners, and there's also some honorable mentions.
And I understand that a lot of people have taken their entries to the Trucci's Market.
Yes.
And they'll be coming over here later, and
Yep.
the judging is this afternoon, and we'll find out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
So what's your name?
Lily Makepeace.
Hi Lily, how are you today?
Good.
Good, and how old are you?
10.
10 years old, and I understand you have an entry in the contest today. And what did you make?
I made and eat some more cranberries.
Eat some more cranberries? That's
That's the
awesome.
name of it.
That's a good name. What's in there? How did you make it?
Well, first I put cranberries and marshmallows on a stick, and then we put chocolate on it.
Mhm.
We dipped chocolate in it,
Mhm.
on it, and then we rolled it in green cracker crumbs.
That sounds awesome. And actually, I tried one and they're really, really good. Think you'll win? We'll see, huh? So, how did you come up with this idea?
Me and my mom started talking about it.
Did you really like s'mores?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. And the cranberries add a nice flavor to it, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, good luck today, Lily.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking to us about your entry.
You're welcome.
Hey baby, all night.